Welcome. The history of the Royal Mail is a fascinating tale, beginning long ago in the mists of time. Started by one weighty king who changed the letter of the law to marry multiple wives. So sit back and relax while we deliver you the story of the world's first national postal service. But first, please stamp on that like button and subscribe so that you can return here later. The earliest known traces of mail can be traced back to ancient Egypt around 2000 BC, where the postal service was reserved solely for the pharaohs. They used couriers to dispatch directives throughout the territory of Egypt, ensuring that royal messages reached their intended destinations. A few centuries later, between 550 and 330 BCE, the Achaemenid Persians developed an advanced system of communication. The Persians utilized a network of couriers on horseback, traveling along the royal road. This vast highway allowed messages to travel swiftly from Susa, in modern-day Iran, to Sardis, in modern-day Turkey, in just 7 to 9 days. Much like in ancient Egypt, the postal system in the Persian Empire was exclusive, reserved only for the king and other powerful figures. Ordinary citizens had no access to the postal service, which was tightly controlled by the ruling elite. In England, the practice of carrying the monarch's letters via couriers dates back to the 15th century during the reign of Henry VIII. The mail relied on relays of couriers who would transport messages across the kingdom. In that era of war and upheaval, it was very important to have a widespread system of communication. This was the advent of the Royal Mail, although it would take a few more centuries to become what it is today. In order to keep the system running effectively, a person was needed to oversee the operation. The first official mention of a master of the posts appears in the King's Book of Payments, where a payment of £100 was authorized for Brian Tuke in February 1512. Tuke's role was crucial in maintaining the urgent delivery of royal correspondence. In 1517, Tuke was formally appointed as the governor of the King's Post by Henry VIII, an office that would later evolve into the position of Postmaster General of the United Kingdom. In 1609, a significant decree was made, stating that letters could only be carried and delivered by individuals authorized by the Postmaster General, further centralizing control over the postal system. In 1635, during the reign of Charles I, the Royal Mail system was further expanded, and a national network of postal routes was created, which was a major milestone as the Royal Mail started to serve the public, not just the monarchy and state. This was the point at which the office of Postmaster General was established, with the responsibility of running the national mail system. By 1655, John Thurlow became Postmaster General, a position he held until his arrest in May 1660 on charges of treason. Thurlow is often remembered for his role in intelligence, having used the postal service to intercept and expose plots against Oliver Cromwell, including the 1657 plot to assassinate him. He also captured Miles Syndercombe, the would-be assassin, along with his group. Ironically, Thurlow's own network became compromised. His secretary, Samuel Morland, turned out to be a royalist agent, and in 1659, Morland claimed that Thurlow, along with other prominent figures, was involved in a plot to kill Charles II, who was destined to become king. About 40 years later, a hidden cache of letters was discovered in his rooms at Lincoln's Inn, concealed in a false ceiling. These letters had been seized during his time as Postmaster General and were a testament to the power and influence of the office, as well as the high-stakes political espionage it enabled. Now let's talk about one of the key moments in the history of the Royal Mail, which occurred in 1840 with the introduction of the penny black. This was the world's first adhesive postage stamp, and it revolutionized mail delivery by prepaying the cost of postage. Before the penny black, recipients paid for postage on delivery, which was cumbersome and inefficient. This change allowed for more affordable and reliable mail services, and it set the stage for postal systems across the globe. Throughout the 19th century, the Royal Mail network expanded, aided by the development of new transportation methods, which made it possible to send mail further and faster across the country and internationally. When the World Wars broke out, mail became even more important. The messages were vital for moving troops and for keeping the citizens informed about their family members at the front. A network of underground train lines was created in London to protect this movement of mail. The mail rail, as it was known, was actually opened on the 5th of December 1927, with parcels traffic running between Mount Pleasant and Paddington. But by the time the Second World War started, it had expanded to 6.5 miles of rail track that crisscrossed the vast city. The Royal Mail continued to grow throughout the 20th century. It underwent several transformations, including the introduction of airmail and postal codes introduced in 1959, which helped to streamline sorting and delivery. In 1969, the Royal Mail was officially nationalized, meaning that it became a government-run entity. This continued until 2013, when the Royal Mail was partially privatized. In recent decades, the Royal Mail has faced the challenge of adapting to the digital age, with the rise of email and online communication reducing the volume of traditional letter-based correspondence. Despite this, Royal Mail still plays a crucial role in parcel delivery, particularly with the rise of online shopping. Today, the Royal Mail is a modern organization that handles millions of letters and parcels daily, with a continued focus on innovation and service. Thus, the Royal Mail's journey has seen it grow from a service for the monarchy to an essential public service with a global reach. Thank you for watching another Words and Sound video. We hope to see you again soon.